Hello guys, this is ExoVyper back again, just giving you another video where I thought something went fairly decently in one of my new tanks, the WZ-131, which is a tier 7 Chinese scout. Currently running with everything but the top two guns, but even with this little baby 85mm it still packs a fair wallop. So I'm going to show you how it seemed to go fairly decent in the match. Now I'll just speed this up a bit because it's usually a maelstrom when everyone's moving about, and it is just me moving into position over onto the one column. Now at all points I'm going out here, I'm actually looking back at K7 to see if these heavies are going to move up, because if they're just going to sit behind those houses, there's no point me being out here, it'll just mean a fast death. Thankfully they do seem to be advancing, so I thought I may as well go ahead with it. This little bush here, I've used it in a previous game and it seems to work quite well. You can see right down the one column and they can't see you until they're dangerously close. Now I must admit at this point my cursor's still because I'm actually watching the minimap to see how close the heavies are to give me support, because unfortunately the KV-1S looks like it's pushing right up. I decided to stand my ground, just hoping that the KV-1S wasn't going to push up far enough to spot me, but thankfully the KV-4 takes him out, which gives me a couple more seconds. Again, the tiger doesn't seem to spot me. Thankfully it stops behind the bush. But when I look at the tiger P, I notice his barrel's looking at me and decide that the jig's up, I've got to move now. That's right ladies, eyes on the scout, ignore everyone else, just look at me. Very, very lucky for me there, just to get my gun damaged. Well, that seems to have went fairly decently, and it's kept me in the game, so I'll try and hide from the tanks up on the ridgeline that are trying to get a nose on either me or the T-34 that's behind me. Now I'm just trying to keep an eye on where these heavy tanks are and basically who they are as well, so I know what sort of firepower I've got. I play this little tank most of the time as a passive scout, because he doesn't seem to turn as well as the T50-2 does. You know, I haven't really tested it out properly, but I don't really want to take the chance in game because it could mean quite a stupid manoeuvre. So I just play how it feels best, really. Thankfully they don't get a shot on me, which means I can progress quite freely through to two of their artillery. Now, I don't think the gun's actually that accurate. It was either .36 or .37, something like that. It was a fair, you know, a fair dispersion, but it seemed to have got quite lucky in this game. I was actually looking for the 3rd artillery, but when I spotted it in D3, I decided that I needed to get back in the cover because, you know, it was going to end fast for me. But thankfully, I managed to light up, you know, 3 of their tanks, so that wasn't too bad. Now if you look at C3, the tiger's actually making progress to come down to try and find me, so I decided that I needed to either be away from my last position or just get back, you know, just out of the line of fire completely. Now, I was actually shocked at how much damage these little guns can do. It shows it's quite a fair contender that even once the scouting's done, it can, you know, you can still put a couple of people's eyes out with the cannon. Now, in reality, I should have abandoned this tiger. You know, I don't know what it was, the fact that I was still alive, or you know, the game was going well, it must have got to my head. Because it was only when I was at that road that I spotted the tiger was looking at me, you know, and it was a bit too late then, he'd obviously got me. Regardless of my death, we get a decent win. Not entirely certain the RT, the SU-5 at E8 is somehow playing it like an assault self-propelled gun. Not entirely certain why though, but he spots an ISU later on in D4, which helps us out because he was actually being quite a menace to the team. In hindsight, really, I should have abandoned that tiger and circled round to spot that ISU. Probably would have been better for the team, but we still won anyway, so never mind. Right, I'm going to leave you guys. I hope the video's been fairly alright. I'll catch you next time.